On Friday, the High Court in Gauteng ruled that the Road Accident Fund was wrong to try and change the accounting standard it uses to manage its finances. In the past, the fund used an insurance accounting standard. Under that accounting system, the fund had liabilities of over 300 billion rand. It then changed the system to use a social benefit fund standard. Under that system, it only has liabilities of 30 billion rand. But the Accounting Standards Board and the Auditor General say the RAF is wrong to use the standard. The Auditor General has refused to sign off on the fund's finances as a result. Mcintosh Polela is the spokesperson for the Road Accident Fund. Mcintosh, good afternoon to you. You obviously lost this case. Are you going to appeal Friday's ruling?
Yes, we have already been advised, our lawyers, that it is a winnable case if we take it forward, and we have already instructed them to file for leave to appeal in this regard, Stephen.
Why do you believe it's winnable? Why do you want to change the accounting standard in the first place?
Well, the statement that we sent out on Friday speaks for itself, that there are different arms of government that have basically classified us as a social benefit fund. We are talking here about the Reserve Bank, the FNB, and the FSB, as well as a couple of other agencies. And so we feel that the court misdirected and misapplied itself. We put forward, 17, points that we wanted the court to have a look at, and none of those were traversed by the court. And we feel that taking the matter to court and zeroing in on the 17 points that we put forward to support the fact that we are a social benefit fund and we don't exist as an insurance, we are going to be able to, convince the court that we are a social benefit fund.
So the claim against you, Mcintosh, and you're aware, of course, of what the critics will say, is they'll just say you don't like the fact that you have such big liabilities and so you change the rules of the game. Just for the record, you obviously deny that. You didn't just change the rules because you didn't like the outcome.
No, we didn't change the rules that we didn't like the outcome. We decided that it was proper for us, based on the classification of the Reserve Bank of 1999 and the FSB and a couple of other authorities who recognize us as such, that we exist to basically carry over to the people of South Africa that need us a social benefit, and that we're not an insurance. An insurance, exists because you pay in on a monthly basis on that insurance, so that in case that something happens to you, you then get taken care of. The Road Accident Fund, as you know, people pay in at the pump, and the people that receive the benefit are not necessarily drivers. The majority of the people that actually claim from us are, passengers, because we don't, cover drivers. We take the liability of the drivers as the wrongdoers in this case.
Okay, so, what's interesting about this is that no one in the previous management of the Road Accident Fund had ever changed the standard before. Why suddenly now?
Well, I cannot speak for the fact that previously the people that were there did not change it. Obviously the new board and now the latest one that came in recently, as well as the CEO, looked at how best to turn the Road Accident Fund around. And one of the things that they looked at was the fact that we are a social benefit fund and not an insurance, and looked at the statute and the organizations that have correctly classified us as a social benefit fund, and it was decided that this was the way to go forward.
Okay. In the end, this is really about which accounting standard gives the most accurate reflection of the fund's accounts. Can we agree on that?
Sure.
And do you accept that the Accounting Standards Board is the body legislated to decide that?
No. I'm not going to try and ventilate what is going to be ventilated in court. I'm going to zero in on my argument that the Reserve Bank, the FSB, as well as other organizations have decided that we're not a social benefit fund. I'm not going to put on an argument on whether the accounting standards is wrong to do that or not. That's not for me to do.
But that's
Let's take the matter forward to court and ventilate it there. And then we are, as I said, very confident that we will win the case based on when the court zeroes in on the 17 points that we have put forward, which the judges, with respect, a full bench of judges in the North Gauteng High Court didn't do.
Okay, but I mean, the accounting standards body is the body that decides these things. I mean, that is how the system's worked for a long time.
Sure, they are the body that decides these things, but we are happy to put forward the fact that we are a social benefit fund. We are classified as that, and they themselves need to be convinced that that is so.
Okay, did you approach them before you changed the system, and did you try and have any negotiation, or was it a unilateral change?
It was before my time, Stephen. I'm not able to put forward that argument or reply to that.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Mcintosh Polela is the spokesperson for the Road Accident Fund. It is a complicated issue. It's a technical issue around accounting standards.